Now, I uploaded this last Friday, and this was meant to be coming out last Friday. However, due to some copyright problems, even though the video was out on my channel, it was restricted on certain devices, and this was a problem to me because, as over half my audience watch my videos on iOS or video game devices, you could probably guess what devices my video was blocked on, and meaning that not many people actually saw that video, and after like 5-6 hours it got the lowest ever views any one of my videos have ever got, bar none. So I decided to remove it, and I'm now re-uploading it, sorting out the copyright problem. That has all been sorted, and also done a couple of re-edits here and there. So this was recorded 2 weeks ago. Please bear that in mind when you're watching the video. And this is the Premier League season review featuring Ashley Harris, and this is the episode 8 of the DJ Bagpuss Show. Sorry for the inconvenience, and I hope you enjoy. I've titled it Not Quite Arsenal Fan TV, as you could probably guess. Both of us
will somehow win the FA Cup as well.
Yeah. Or Champions League winners. I don't think, in my lifetime or your life, I think Chelsea will win the Champions League.
What, next season?
Yeah. Like Newcastle. My mates think I'm secretly a Newcastle fan. They say I've always been a Newcastle fan. I keep getting that now all the time, so I praise how he manages Watford, because he doesn't speak a word of English. How on earth do the players understand what he's saying on the touchline?
I do question that sometimes as well.
Okay, we are recording. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the DJ Bagpuss Show. Now, I've done 7 episodes so far of the DJ Bagpuss Show. This is episode 8, and I've only had one guest in like 7 episodes. So, and a couple of you have messaged me and asked me to, bring on some new guests, bring on some new friends, and this is exactly what I have done today. This man needs no introduction, so ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Ashley Harris. Just me.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Just me clapping. Now, getting Ashley on the show means that we can only talk about one subject, and one subject which I've been waiting absolute ages to do. When I first came up with doing the DJ Bagpuss Show, there was one topic that I really want to do, and for the next couple of episodes and videos, my channel is basically to go into a genre that I absolutely love. I spoke about my films, how my love for films, I spoke about video games, I spoke about my love for music, but there is another love of my life which is probably the most painful one. It's like a never-ending marriage. But that is football. So today is going to be a football podcast. I've titled it Not Quite Arsenal Fan TV, as you could probably guess. Both of us are Man United fans.
No, I never say that again.
So, so basically what we're going to be doing is that, we're going to be talking about football. We're going to be looking at we're going to be reviewing the Premier League. There's going to be another video coming out on Tuesday. Me and Ashley are going to be previewing the FA Cup final between Arsenal and Chelsea. So we're going to be doing that on Tuesday. But this is going to be just basically on the Premier League, because the Premier League season ends on its final day Sunday.
Yeah.
So, we can now basically review the season as it comes to an end. So we're going to look at our predictions. We made predictions at the start of the season. We're going to look back at those. We're also going to be looking at our predictions for like Manager of the Year, Golden Boot, that sort of stuff. Then we're just going to review the season. So we're probably going to spend about 20 minutes reviewing the season, how it's gone with other teams, excluding Arsenal, because then we're going to have an Arsenal season review where we're going to be talking about the highs and many, many, many lows. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. And we're also going to talk about how we came to support Arsenal as a football club. And then finally, we're going to give our predictions for next season's Premier League season. So, if you enjoyed this video, want to see more football videos, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. You can get involved in the conversation by leaving your questions, comments and views down in the comment section below. Also, follow me on Twitter DJ Bagpuss 1998, not only do you can keep up with everything you need to know about the DJ Bagpuss Show, but you can also, I tweet so much about football on my Twitter, so it's kind of the best place to see what I don't say on camera about football on that, and also use my hashtag DJ Bagpuss Show, capital D, capital B, capital S, to get involved. Ashley is a lifelong fan of the DJ Bagpuss Show.
Yeah, no, I've been watching it since the first episode.
He
completely support of your vision and your goals right now.
This is his dream right now to get involved in the episode. I've got a FIFA video coming out, I've got a football vlog coming out, I've also got real life football challenges coming out. So if you love football, then it's basically going to be a Christmas for you. If you don't like football, just stay to watch our charm.
A lot to look forward to on your channel.
Yeah.
Next few weeks.
Yeah, it should be.
I'll definitely be watching anyway.
Should be very interesting. So, shall we start the episode?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, me and Ashley love just football. Like, we live and breathe football. And obviously we're Arsenal fans, but we love watching. I mean, I watch loads of football.
Yeah,
I know you do as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if we've ever got free time, we put football on or play football as a video game. But the Premier League for me, like, I don't know about you, this season I've never been more excited about this season, like, ever. Like, the build up to this season, particularly going in like at the start of August. You know, looking at the season, like, you had Mourinho coming in, you had Pep Guardiola coming in, you had like Pogba returning, Ibra, like Gundogan, you know, you had Conte coming in with Chelsea. Like, I've never seen hype as like big as that build up to the Premier League season.
Yeah, no, well, especially with the managers coming in and the rivalries that they could have had, especially with Mourinho, with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, Barcelona ties uniting once again.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it was definitely something to look forward to, and you knew Liverpool was also going to be a force this season. With
Klopp. Because of obviously, you know, Klopp came in last season, Brendan Rodgers, although I think he was a good manager at Liverpool, mostly. You know, he got sacked, Klopp came in, and Klopp only had like 6 or 7 months, and it wasn't his players, so this was his time where people generally believed that he was going to, you know, and then expand.
When he took over, he almost won 2 cups in that time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he like
it's quite extraordinary if you think about it.
Lost in the Europa League to Seville last season, and also in the EFL Cup final against Manchester. I remember watching that actually. It was the day that we lost to Man United.
Oh yeah,
that was
that
was a fun day. But yeah, there was just a real buzz for the Premier League that season, and like. In terms of quickly Arsenal, I mean, I'll talk about Arsenal like later on in the video, but for us, like, we finished second last year, and there was kind of a feeling that, you know, he was going to sign 3 or 4 really world-class players because we'd come so close, and there was a feel like that we could, like, I didn't think we were going to win it, but I thought if he brought in 3 or 4 world-class players, there was a chance that he could, you know, keep up with kind of Mourinho and Guardiola coming in, because we all thought they were going to just dominate the Premier League, literally.
Well, you'd think after that season that he would improve, knowing that Guardiola and Mourinho were coming into next season, especially as we came so close, that I felt that was papering over the cracks, but we did finish above Spurs as well, so that also was a great highlight.
Yeah, that was a brilliant, like, that's how bad our season was last year.
Yeah.
That final day, finishing above Spurs, was amazing. But like, we kind of underestimate Chelsea. I mean, I thought they would get into top 4. They had a miserable season with Mourinho
they did.
Season before. But I thought, you know, Conte's a winner. You know, won 3 league titles with Juventus. Did well in the Euros as, you know, manager of Italy. But I thought, how can you take someone from 10th to 1st? But we get on to that of how Chelsea have just steamrolled the Premier League title. So we made predictions on the Premier League season kicked off on, I think, the 18th of August 2016. So I made my predictions, and Ashley also was helping me out with them on the 16th of August. I'll put a picture up on screen. So these were our predictions. So the top 6 kind of were a little bit different. Who did you think was going to win the Premier League at the start of the season?
I thought Manchester City were going to win the Premiership at the start of the season, especially on their 10-game winning streak. Right at the start, I thought they were going to steamroll the Premier League. I thought Guardiola just came into the job. He was just going to find it easy like he did in La Liga and the Bundesliga. I couldn't quite believe it at first, but clearly that's not happened.
Yeah,
as you can tell, the Premiership is a completely different challenge to every other league in the world.
Yeah, I remember watching Aguero and like Gundogan pass, he went over the top. I think it was against like West Ham, and I was just like, we are in major trouble.
Witnessing tiki-taka at Manchester City. You never thought that would happen. Right?
Yeah, literal definition. I mean, I thought Manchester United were going to win it because, I mean,
Pogba we'll get on to how mediocre he has been, although it isn't entirely his fault. Manchester United have had a poor season, but I thought, Pogba, Ibrahimovic, Martial, Bailly, Smalling, De Gea, kind of, just those type of players have proven to themselves that, on their day they could be world class. And I thought Mourinho will come back to the Premier League with a point to prove. He had so much money to spend, and I just thought that his tactics, he'd want to prove that he wasn't a failure, and him and Manchester United work hand in hand. Kind of they're selfish, they're brutal. Manchester United, when they were winning, were rude. They were nasty, and Mourinho has that kind of gene in him. So I thought they would work hand in hand, and I generally believe that Manchester United were going to win it. Obviously.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not his fault though, is it? I mean, at the end of the day, there's quite a massive pile of fixtures as well, and he had to do a lot of rotation, and of course with that he has got quite a lot of negative reaction from the press, as well as fans of football in general. But you kind of got to understand that negative tactics are to rest players for the Europa League final that is coming up in a few weeks' time. But understandably, next season he is going to improve that squad. I mean, because that defensively is a very talented team, and defensively.
And I think Pogba will only get better and better and better. I think when you've got that price tag on you of 100 million, it's a ludicrous amount of money, and just money in football is ludicrous. But the pressure he had on him being the world's most expensive player must have psychologically got to him. But I only feel on his day he's proven how amazing he can be. So I think it's generally going to be, when he's on his day behind Ibrahimovic, you're unstoppable.
But I think also footballing fans in general need to understand that Manchester United have signed a holding midfielder. I mean, I think there's a lot of negative reaction for that, because they expected him to transform himself into an attacking midfielder, almost second striker, to score 20 to 30 goals a season. I know, £90 million is a massive price to justify, but you have to think about it. He's doing his job in holding central midfield. I mean, for the first season, he has done a really good job in the Premiership, I believe. Of course, he's naturally going to improve. And Mourinho is going to invest. But just Manchester United fans just need to give him time, and he will become good, I think.
I think if he wins the Europa League, which Ajax is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. They will give them a good game, and I think I'm hopefully going to watch that in the pub, because when we're mates with Man United fans, it's going to be absolutely hilarious, because he just he's not confident. But they've won the EFL Cup against Southampton. Ibrahimovic won it for them hands down. They won the Community Shield, even though you can't count the Community Shield, but Mourinho counts. And in the actual domestic front, the Community Shield goes down. So if he wins that EFL Cup and Europa League, he technically has won the treble in his first season. Even though someone said to me it was the Mickey,
one, but it's still a treble.
He said it was one of my mates, or I read on Twitter that someone said it was the Mickey Mouse treble, which is just brilliant. But that is a decent first season. You've won 3 domestic trophies, but I felt at the start of the season, I had that idea that Manchester United were going to win it. I said Chelsea 3rd, Liverpool 4th. Conte's a leader. Chelsea had a title-winning squad 18 months before under Jose Mourinho. They had a talented squad, and they have a very, very good team. And even we got on to Kante, but I just felt from 1st to 10th was a major jump down. But from 10th to 1st, I thought there was no way, just because of the power of Manchester. I thought, but they didn't have Champions League football, so they had an even advantage anyway. But I had that idea that I don't think people really gave Chelsea a chance at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, you can't blame them really, because at the end of the day, their last season was really, really poor. I mean, I think the players stopped playing for Mourinho, definitely, because this season Conte's only invested. He hasn't really broken the team up, has he? That's clearly they prefer playing for Conte. Definitely prefer playing for Conte.
I support Arsenal, but my dad has been a lifelong Chelsea fan for 50 years, so I watch all of the Chelsea games. So he watches all of the Arsenal games, so I know Chelsea quite well. And last season, it was evident that they weren't playing for Jose Mourinho. I think his problem was that he expected so much for them in his title-winning season that they thought they were champions, so they took their eye off the ball and they couldn't get up to that level. Plus, you had the business with the doctor, last season.
Yeah,
you know,
stuff like that.
That right at the start, so getting beaten by Manchester City, and it kind of set the tone for them when they came back after international. Like, they lost to Southampton, they lost to Bournemouth. You know, Liverpool was an awful game that they lost. Stoke City, you know, Leicester City. Even though Leicester were amazing last season,
they still done a double on us,
yeah.
didn't they?
What the
Chelsea? Even
yeah, Chelsea.
Season,
yeah, even though like every team in the land beat them, Chelsea still beat us home and away. Back in the day when Diego Costa was the most cheating, disastrous player ever. But under Antonio Conte, I mean, I've never seen a manager. I don't think I've ever seen him sit down.
Yeah, no,
all season. He never sits down. Like, his energy and enthusiasm transcends to the players. I mean, some people say that we owe Chelsea their title because that day. Let me just remind Chelsea fans out there that, you know, 24th September 2016. Do you remember that afternoon at the Emirates where
we beat them 3-0?
Yeah, Sanchez, Ozil, Walcott.
Well, I mean, up to that point, Chelsea didn't really have any set plan on tactics. I mean, Conte was still experimenting.
Yeah, because I mean,
quite a lot.
I remember opening day of the season, like the first Monday night of the season, they beat West Ham 2-1. They beat Watford. So I think they had 9 points after 3 games. They played Liverpool at home and Arsenal away. I remember my dad. Funny story. My dad, just before the game, we were watching. It was Friday night football, and like he turned to me and he saw Jordan Henderson in the team. And he was like, Jordan Henderson is the worst player in the world. Liverpool, like, why is he in the Liverpool side? He's awful. Like, if I was him, I would drop him down to like the reserves. And then 5 minutes later, he scores the wonder goal that puts Liverpool ahead. And I was just
watching that.
I always say now to my dad, just criticise every single player, because every time you criticise a player, they go and score. So just constantly do that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Liverpool beat them, and then they got obliterated by us. I mean, that day could have easily been 5 or 6. We could have easily beaten them that scoreline. Like, we were just, from start to finish, we were just absolutely all over them.
Yeah.
But then it was with Conte. I loved. After that game, he said to himself and he said to the players, "Not good enough. Not good. I ain't having that. Not in hope in hell's chance am I having that." So, you know, he switched to the back three and they went on like a 16-game winning run and just.
And see, I remember watching that game and I remember how poorly set out they were in the back.
Yeah.
They were all over the place.
Well, Hazard kept tracking back. His best position, what Conte's done really well, he plays in the left forward and he doesn't have to track back, so he has the freedom to be in that left position of the pitch, which means he can, you know, dribble and intertwine and go into space, and that is his best asset. You know, he gets into space, he darts around, he creates fouls for himself. He's such a dribbler and a playmaker, and him tracking back like Mourinho expected, you're losing that danger. So every time you're hit on the counter, you know, you've got Hazard to deal with, which just I think Conte recognised really, really well.
And I mean, that was the best Ozil as well played, I think, this season.
Oh,
he was in sensational form, and Walcott looked incredible.
That goal was just
not words I can say very much, but I mean, in that match in particular, I think that just demonstrates more than anything that Chelsea were quite poor on the day.
Yeah.
But it was a great day.
And I think really the biggest thing is N'Golo Kante. You put him into any squad, you put him into our squad, you might win the league. You know, I mean, defensively we're awful, but Kante would eliminate like 70 to 80% problem. You put him in the Man United team, they win the league. You put him in the Manchester City team, you win the league. Liverpool or Spurs, you put him in that team. I think he is the best I think at the minute he's the best midfielder in the world by a country mile.
It's
or
very,
best midfielder, I should say.
It's very hard to argue that. I mean, in the transfer market when we were linked with him, I mean, if we did sign him, we probably would be top. Let's be honest.
Well, this is Arsene Wenger's reason that he says Granit Xhaka is better than N'Golo Kante, and he also believed that Kante wasn't good enough.
Though he was cheaper, but then it goes back onto the topic of the Arsenal-Chelsea game where Conte did realise that enough is enough of that 3-0 result, and he's a very pragmatic manager, very pragmatic, and like you see straight away, he changed the tactics straight away, and look what's happened now.
Yeah.
Completely steamrolled the league. Something I think Arsene Wenger needs to learn to adapt with the modern culture of football.
Exactly.
Be very pragmatic.
And I think like, you know, it's no surprise that Kante won the league at Leicester and Chelsea. He's got back-to-back Premier League titles with two different sides. He's just an sensational, absolutely sensational player. So I mean, Chelsea just steamrolled the Premier League title. They were absolutely amazing. I mean, Liverpool, I thought they were going to win it at one point this season. Earlier in the campaign.
They were in incredible form until they hit that January mark.
Yeah.
Which completely, they got knocked out of the FA Cup and they get knocked out
EFL Cup as well to Southampton, actually, I remember.
And they got knocked out by Wolves in the
FA,
they got knocked out by Wolves at Anfield at home.
Yeah, I think, Coutinho, Coutinho has been sensational this season. Their best player by far was Sadio Mane, before he got injured.
Yeah.
He was just I remember that I went round Ashley's to watch Arsenal-Liverpool on the opening day of the season.
Before we talk about that, I remember as well when Liverpool did sign him for 30 odd million.
Yeah.
I seriously questioned that signing because I was just thinking he's only proven at Southampton, and that's mid-table level.
Yeah.
He's only proven at that level, and to go to Liverpool and have a first season impact is quite extraordinary when you think about it. His performances alone have probably got Liverpool into the Champions League this season, potentially.
Oh, God, yeah. And I think, where would Liverpool be now with Mane if he didn't get injured?
Yeah.
They would have easily secured Champions League football.
And also, you got to think Mane in January was in the African Cup of Nations, that bad month that they were knocked out of everything, and those dropped so many points.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Liverpool on their day, they played some beautiful football.
They do,
and,
definitely.
Klopp is another manager, similar to Conte. I see him sit there, but he's so energetic, and that enthusiasm transcends into those players. But Liverpool's problem, which has been for a number of years, the reason why they haven't won the league, had they had a better defence, they would have been champions in 2013-14 when they missed out to Manchester City. Defensively, it's always been their Achilles heel. I think Matip is a very, very good signing. I think he will come good, but they need. You put Matip in, I would put in the starting 11. But I think other than that, they need a better left back, they need a better right back, they need a better centre back.
Well, I think Milner has done a really good job at left back. I really think he has filled the hole
Yeah.
like a real utility player, a real professional. But they need a more natural left back so Milner can go into midfield and really demonstrate his ability in midfield.
I think he would do brilliantly now in left centre of midfield. Because if he's in that position, he's very similar to the left back role, but he can track forward further. He's got a couple of goals this season, Milner. But I think if you have a world-class left back and then Milner just ahead of him protects him, that would only be positive.
I'm sure Klopp will look to strengthen in the transfer market.
Oh yeah,
especially if they get in the Champions League.
He certainly is going to be strengthening even further.
Yeah, just look at Dortmund for example. He's just found these world-class players from nothing and made Dortmund into the force they are now. And this is the potential scouts that he has in contact with. Yeah. So the future is looking really bright for Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah, and I've always liked Liverpool as a club. I think that they're great respect. I think that they have a good kind of overview their club. They're respectful. They're not like that nasty or kind of
very passionate.
Yeah, they're very passionate, very respectful. And Anfield, you go to Anfield and kind of the atmosphere and buzz that you get is.
Because when I saw Arsenal when we lost their 3-1 this season, there was still a very good harmony between the fans.
Yeah, and
afterwards, even though it was a very competitive, very important game, it was still harmony between the fans, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, there was kind of there's a mutual respect between them, and I do have that respect for them, and also I think that they will come good. Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. This is painful. This is so painful. I made a bet at the start of the season when my mates said if Spurs won the Premier League that I would have to wear a Tottenham shirt and hat and post a picture of it on social media. And I kid you, I love watching. I don't know about watching the Premier League trophy celebration. I've always watched it in the 10 years I've supported football. I love watching the team lift the Premier League title. With good old Martin Tyler. Chanting.
Of course,
If Spurs had won the Premier League title, I don't think I could have watched that. But they have been exceptional this season. The squad. Harry Kane is a natural leader. Eriksen, Son, Wanyama. Their defence is so solid. It is quite funny that they've had two amazing seasons and we still will probably win more than them. But they're in a very good position going into the future. Yeah,
well, looking at it from a neutral point of view as an Arsenal fan, that's quite a hard thing to do in this case.
It's very. Just saying that now aggravates me to the point of crying.
Just looking at this from a neutral point of view, somehow I look at envy at the squad, and the mentality that Pochettino has installed within that squad. I mean, everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone gives 110% in that squad. You watch them. I mean, I watched them Tottenham Arsenal. That was a really painful match, and but you could see the vast difference, gap in class between Arsenal and Spurs.
Yeah, the gap in the squad was just insane.
I think Pochettino has installed this philosophy in the club where they're thinking higher than us. They're thinking the title. They're not thinking they need to be better than Arsenal. Yeah. You know, and it definitely shows. I mean, Harry Kane this season has been on sensational form. This season he reminds me of Gary Lineker quite a bit. Yeah. He's very sharp in front of goal, no nonsense. Just gets the job done.
Literally. Yeah. I think also when you look at Spurs is their overall squad, there's strength in every position.
Yeah, I know. I mean, every player in the squad is an international player.
Yeah.
And I mean, one that starts as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the team is absolutely incredible. And again, neutrally to talk about that is quite painful. But you have to be an envy at that squad, and Pochettino deserves so much praise for what he's done at Spurs. And I think as well, them winning the title in a few seasons is inevitable. So we should brace ourselves for that.
Yeah. I think we've given Spurs though enough praise on that.
Yeah.
That is horrible to literally do. But I'm now going to show you in full the Premier League prediction, and at the minute I've got 2 matches out of 20. So this is the full table. You can see my prediction table in comparison to the actual Premier League table. So the teams in blue in the actual Premier League table is confirmed positions, because obviously they're playing the last weekend of Premier League games on Sunday, and we're recording this on Friday. So the teams in blue are going to be staying in that position. So Chelsea won the title, Premier League champions. Tottenham have secured 2nd place. Manchester United have secured 6th place. 7th, Everton have secured that position. And then from 8th to 17th, there's so many places on offer, because it's 8 points separate 8th from 17th. So that could change. And then you've got the 3 relegation candidates. So you've got Hull City, Middlesbrough and Sunderland, who are all going down into the Championship next season. Yeah. So quickly, before we move on to Arsenal, let's talk quickly about Leicester City. What have you made of them this season, from Premier League champions to now probably finishing between 11th and 14th?
It's a tricky situation to talk about, because look at how well they've done considering what's happened at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, what Ranieri did last season was nothing but magical.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime sporting achievement. He deserves a knighthood, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he won Italian Manager of the Year and Footballing Manager of the Year. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. And then you come to this season and they're in a relegation zone. And then you think, wow, what's happened? But then you think you've got to give him a chance, because he done the unthinkable with Leicester City.
Yeah.
Right? And so when he did get sacked, it was quite shocking, actually. And as you saw the ripples go through the media of how shocking that was, and how much of a bad decision that was by Leicester City. And then you employ Shakespeare and you think, well, what more can he offer that Ranieri didn't?
Yeah.
And clearly he has. He's given great future for Leicester City right now, I think.
Yeah.
He's made them very strong, not including yesterday's performance against Spurs, that 6-1. But yeah, I think that was just a once.
Sorry, Leicester City fans.
I think that was just a one-off, that one. But I think Leicester City will be up there next season, I think. Definitely up top half of the table.
I think because it was such a sporting kind of miracle, you know, no one ever believe that Leicester would ever come close to doing something like that, and it was like the greatest sporting achievement ever. And like, you know, Mahrez, like PFA Player of the Year, and you know, you had like Vardy getting like 20, 25 goals. You know, Kante being that engine like he's proved at Chelsea. But it shows you now how brutal football is, and also how it's much more about business equity and keeping a steady ship and keeping your revenue and profit well, because that's the only reason Claudio Ranieri got sacked. Leicester were terrified that they were going to get relegated and didn't want to lose that money. So it's a brutal market, you know.
It's brutal, but it did have to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, after that title-winning season, they renewed like everyone's contracts, like triple what they were earning at the start of the season.
They give everyone like Audi Martins for winning the Premier League title. Every single player got an Audi because of being champions.
I heard everyone got pizzas, Italian pizzas.
Yeah.
Ranieri.
It's like when they first kept that clean sheet, Ranieri bought everyone a pizza.
Yeah.
His promise was, if you keep a clean sheet, you get a pizza.
That's
like
brilliant.
literal definition of the word, lad.
Yeah, I know. But from a business perspective, it does make sense.
Yeah.
To sack Ranieri. Pains me to say, but it did make sense.
I mean, do you think if he had stayed at Leicester, would he have got them relegated?
Probably, yeah. Because at that time, I think he didn't have enough to motivate them. I think it was just a case, it's the same thing for Mourinho. They just stopped playing for him. Yeah. Completely just stopped playing for him.
Shows you how disrespectful that is. I mean, he took those footballers to a place where they will never... I'm 99% sure that they will never, ever get to that place ever again. They will never, ever be Premier League champions or Champions League winners. I don't think, in my lifetime or in your lifetime. You know, I don't think that will happen again. And Ranieri was the reason why they got to that place. So the fact they could just turn on him and stop playing for him is just so disrespectful and kind of just like brutal, really, you know.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I thought what happened put football in such a good light, and it will be remembered in football folklore forever.
Yeah, I mean, even people that didn't like football got onto this Leicester fairy tale.
I mean, I saw on some American news channel they were talking about on their sports section as well. This is how wide it was broadcasting at this point. It was such an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. I still can't get over it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, on Sky Sports now, they're still even talking about it. It's the greatest ever title ever.
It's probably the greatest sporting story ever told.
Yeah, and then you've got to think about afterwards. After that season, certain players from their squad are being considered world-class players.
Yeah. Getting
triple what they signed on their contracts and getting national call-ups afterwards and being linked to the top world-class teams, like Kante going to Chelsea now, Vardy being linked to Arsenal, you've got Mahrez being linked to Arsenal.
That just never ever happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, the unthinkable happened, quite frankly.
But, I mean, the future's bright for Leicester. I think Craig Shakespeare will do well. You know, I think he's gonna improve the squad, and I think you're right. I totally agree with you. I think that they will finish probably 10th, 9th, 8th, mid-table finish, but the revenue's coming in, the equity's coming in, and they can live off the kind of the success and the rewards of winning the Premier League title for years and years to come, really.
But the irony of it is, though, Shakespeare hasn't really changed anything.
No.
Like tactically, he's just gone back to basics of what they did last season, and now they've just decided to play again.
Yeah. I remember the first game that Shakespeare took over was against Liverpool, and they beat them comprehensively. And it was just like the Leicester of old.
Oh, but with Vardy scored that goal.
Vardy scored that amazing goal.
Oh, yeah. And the Drinkwater score from outside.
Yeah, Drinkwater scored from 45 yards, and you were just sitting there Ranieri must have been sitting there sinking in his own stinges, really. I mean, just like Mourinho as well. Imagine him watching Chelsea winning the title this year. He must be stewing watching that.
Yeah, it's just a case of the players just stop playing for the club, and it's really disrespectful.
Just like, being dishonest and disloyal is kind of in the game for far, far too long. But when you look at, I'll bring back up the picture of the prediction table and the actual Premier League table. So at the minute, we got 2 out of 20 as a match. Liverpool, which is a potential match, and Everton, which is a match. I had much more faith in Sunderland, who've been awful, absolutely woeful.
Yeah, definitely one of the worst teams to play in the Premier League.
One of the worst. I mean, I thought Aston Villa was bad last season, like the worst Premier League team of all time. I think Sunderland give them a good run for their money.
Yeah, well, but this season they didn't have Sam Allardyce, did they? To save them. They're sinking ship.
And he's been brilliant at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, as we've seen against Arsenal, but one example.
We'll easily get to that. And then you've got Hull City, who started the season kind of under Mike Phelan. They beat Leicester. I remember putting a tweet out. I'll put the tweet out on screen now, that I said if Hull City win the Premier League, because they beat Leicester City on the opening day of the season, so they went top of the table, and I said if Hull City win the Premier League title, I'll dye my hair orange in support of the Tigers. It did happen, so I didn't expect it to, but anything was possible, wasn't it, with football? But they went from bad to worse, and I think their biggest mistake, they got Marco Silva far too late. They got it when it was too late.
I second that, but with a club with the lack of facilities they had, nothing less was expected.
It was inevitable, really.
Yeah, didn't they start the season?
They had 9 outfield players.
Yeah.
That's all we had. 9 senior players who were outfield, and that was their start of the campaign.
On a professional level, that is quite embarrassing.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Which is just woeful, really.
Yeah, that is really
It's
woeful.
literally woeful. But, I mean, Middlesbrough, I said I thought they were going to just stay above water. Because they brought in, Negredo, Valdez, Guzan. These are not world-class players, but they're decent players. They've proved themselves in
they've proven themselves at the top level, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they've got Downing as well, who's proved themselves at the top level.
And they've just been awful. They've been awful.
Yeah, I think they were lacking in creative players more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much Negredo can do up front on his own.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's only on there for loan, so his motivation isn't even there in the first place. So,
yeah.
I mean, they just lacked in one of those players, playmakers, that can change the game.
Yeah.
That's what they lacked.
And I think they'd probably be back up next season. I don't think Sunderland will. I think Sunderland will be like Aston Villa, where it will take many, many years to get back up into the Premier League. And, I mean, I said Burnley and Watford would go down. Watford got their 40 points, so they were safe, although Matsarari is going to be leaving. Although I don't know really how he manages Watford, because he doesn't speak a word of English. So how on earth do the players understand what he's saying on the touchline?
I do question that sometimes as well.
I saw, was it Watford's? I think it was an Arsenal-Watford game where we actually got beaten by them. But I could see him on the touchline. And also the Chelsea-Watford game where 4-3 last Monday. Didn't understand a word he was saying. How do the players understand what he's saying when he doesn't speak English?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, how is the manager going to give those important messages on the pitch?
Yeah.
Install mentality.
Because you'll be running backwards. You think he's telling you to run backwards, but he's telling you to run forwards onto goal.
Yeah.
You just get so confused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Literally. But, I mean, Burnley, without Sean Dyche, they would be relegated easily.
He's done an incredible job.
He's been incredible. He deserves to now promote and go further up the ladder. But I think if he stays at Burnley are going to be easily safe. And I think next season Swansea are going to be doomed.
Yeah, I think this season was quite lucky actually.
They were very lucky by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, Paul Clement done a really good job.
And I think even though he will stay, I think he will. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he'll stay, but I'm pretty certain, and we'll get to our predictions at the end of the video. But Swansea are doomed.
I mean, if the board give him back in, there's a chance.
Yeah.
Like, if he
I mean,
they've got
a chance, but I have this feeling that they are doomed.
I mean, if they can secure Sigurdsson stays and Loretto and a few other players, and then add on that, I think they can stay out.
I think they're in a very similar position to Hull City last year, where they're not in a very good position. But they've got a great manager, Paul Clement. He's proved himself. He's done well. He's kept them up. And if he can keep Sigurdsson, that's his biggest job. He's got to keep him. He's got to keep him at the club. But,
I mean, he has the knowledge. He's been the coach at like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Yeah. He has the knowledge to do the job. And
also, it's kind of similar to West Ham. You know, they need serious kind of rebuilding. I mean, going to that new stadium, going to London Stadium screwed them over. It's also why I don't think Spurs will win the title next season, because going to Wembley, I think, will have a negative repercussion on them. We've already seen them in the Champions League having that negative impact on them.
Well, I mean, at White Hart Lane, the pitch is pretty narrow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much space to play. I suppose they're used to that. At Wembley, you have to run about.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's pitched, it's a very similar to Emirates.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I also think, isn't there a story that they want to cut the width of Wembley so it's more similar? Yeah. Wow. So it's more similar to White Hart Lane. Not sure if they can do that.
Well there, but I don't see the point of that.
No.
What's the point of that? It just kills the atmosphere at Wembley.
Yeah.
Completely.
Be interested to see that. Are you ready now to talk about Arsenal?
Whenever you're ready, mate.
Yeah. Okay, so Arsenal's season review, if you like, which is going to be fun. Now, at the start of the season, as we said, we finished second. We bottled it once again. We should have. I mean, it's a sackable offence, I feel, to allow Leicester City to be above you when all the other big teams are falling down the ladder and not at their full pace. You know, last season we were at our best and all the other top teams weren't, and we still didn't win it. So there was problems there, but there was a kind of a feeling, a vibe around the stadium that Arsene Wenger understood that, realised that. Finished above Spurs, so all the other Arsenal fans were happy. He signed the contract, as we always thought he would, and there was kind of a sense in the air that he would maybe buy 3-4 world-class players to kind of take us to that next level. And he did buy, didn't he? He bought players.
I mean, the fans give the club a lot of stick, especially the board. But they do give him funding, like 30 million in Xhaka. I mean, holding.
Yeah.
They have invested in the squad.
Mustafi was 35 million. I mean, they overpaid massively because they left it too long.
Valencia saw that.
Yeah, Valencia saw that. Like, I think he was a £15 million player, and they just,
milk the fact that he was a World
3
Cup
times the
winner,
price on that. Yeah,
basically. Literally,
because we were at a position where if we didn't have him, we'd have to start with Per Mertesacker, and that's never a good idea.
At the time, Rob Holding, we didn't even know he'd be so good, so we couldn't take the risks.
But I thought Perez was a good acquisition. He scored last season, in 17 consecutive games, something like that. And obviously, with Sanchez being up front, Mustafi being that anchor in midfield, and even Xhaka. Early on, Xhaka looked very promising, against Chelsea, against Watford. He played really well. That wonder goal he scored against Watford as well.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in the Euros, and he looked really good in that as well.
Yeah, apart from the penalty that he skied.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to judge him on
that. That was quite laughable. But there was a sense that this was going to be a different year. And always with Arsenal, first half of the season, we were top of the table. We were doing well. We were competing at the top.
Well, I mean, it did start quite badly against Liverpool.
Started badly against Liverpool, and even worse against Leicester during 0-0. It was kind of set the tone, and so many Arsenal fans were raging. And plus, he hadn't signed anyone at that point.
Understandably as well.
Yeah, but he signs players. He spent 90 million, and from then on, I mean, our best football was between September and I'd say November. Always our best time. Chelsea, Ludogorets, apart from Southampton in the EFL Cup, West Ham, beating them, even though that was in December.
The Sanchez hat-trick. Yeah.
Sanchez hat-trick was... Oh, Sanchez has been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. But we drew to Spurs 1-1 in the North London derby in November. We then drew to Manchester United, which was a poor game. We were very poor that day, but we left it very late, and Giroud came on to save us. But it kind of... I remember we got to December and we had Everton away and Manchester City away in the space of 5 days, and we were top of the table at this point, and it was like, if we'd got past that, going into Christmas, top of the table, then there was a sense that something really had changed. You know, it's kind of like that meme, you know, of course, mate, we're Arsenal, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the Champions League, and then you get to May and we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. But that was a pivotal moment in the season, I think, for us.
It's been the same old for every season now for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, when the tough gets going, we tend to bottle it.
Yeah.
You know, when it really matters.
Well, we have to get wins, and it's also like at the same time, you know, December we have the tough games: Manchester City, Everton, Chelsea, you know, Manchester United, and we just lose. Or we get to January and we lose 3 or 4 games, and that is it.
Yeah, it's the mentality. It's come from the manager.
Yeah.
I mean, the manager put those players out. He installs the mentality in the club. He gets paid $8 million a year to install that mentality in the club. At the end of the day, it's no excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, the fingers have to be pointed at Wenger when it comes to crunch, when it comes to dropping points in January and February, and then picking it up towards the end of the season, like now.
Yeah.
That we've been doing for like the last 10 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fingers have to be pointed at Wenger.
Yeah.
And the board in different respects though.
Yeah. I mean, that is a very, very good point. You know, Wenger is cool. The players also have this mentality in them because obviously they're playing. Wenger's not playing, but he sends out the tactics. He sends out the players. This is his rules. This is how he wants to get wins. So he is a problem. The board are a massive problem as well. You know, I mean, they don't like football. I don't care about football. All they care about is the money, how many dollars they could get, or because they think it's dollars even though it's pounds. But it's all about, for them, the equity. It's about getting money in, finishing in the top 4, maybe winning the FA Cup, keeping the head above water, and that is it. No competing. I mean, the difference with Abramovich, you see him at the games. You know, he's brutal. If you're not winning, if Chelsea are not competing, they get sacked. And
the difference is he wants to leave a legacy at the club.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants to leave a legacy.
I mean, do you think Stan Kroenke and even Gazidis want that legacy? All they want is money.
No,
I've never seen them at a game.
Games.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the board are the ones who set the expectations of the club.
Yeah.
They set the expectation of the season. If Wenger getting top 4 is the expectation of the club, there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, in normal businesses, you get set targets to meet, and if you don't meet them, you will get sacked.
Yeah.
So this is no different, just as football.
Yeah.
So if Wenger getting top 4 and winning the FA Cup is the target for us football club, then stuff needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, this season it's been quite different because every club in the Premiership has evolved to compete, spend, and scout intelligently.
Yeah.
And
that's not even the top 6. That's every team in the Premier League. You know, the Premier League. The reason why the Premier League is the best league in the world is because every team is competing. Every team wants to be the team to get better and better and better. So that level that every single team has a cup final to them every single weekend means it's the best league in the world because you can't predict. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, you could say, oh, 3 points there, 3 points there, but in reality, you don't know. You don't know what teams are going to put out. But yeah, I completely agree with you. You know, when you go to a job, any job, you know, your boss sets out expectations. On this YouTube channel, I have expectations to produce good quality videos. If I don't do that, then I'm not getting to the level that I want, and then obviously there's a problem that I'm addressing, even though I'm like the own boss. But that's my mentality. And when you go to work and you don't meet that expectation, you'll get, you know, either sacked or you'll get punished with a warning. And that isn't happening with Wenger. You know, he sets out this demeanour of being lacklustre, not winning, and just generating money. A mediocre mentality and a mediocre club for me at the minute.
Yeah, I feel Wenger grudgingly has to be the voice of the board because they don't want to face the fans.
Yeah.
Simply because they don't care about the club. And at the end of the day, if they're setting expectations of FA Cup and top 4, something does definitely need to change, because the Arsenal Football Club, we're here to win titles. We're not here to just get top 4 and bring in revenue for the club.
I mean, that has been the philosophy for, I would say, the last 10 years. But this season, what's been different is how poor we've been. I mean, we've lost so many games. I can't think of an Arsenal season that has been this poor. You know, West Brom, Crystal Palace, Chelsea away, you know, Liverpool home and away, Manchester United away, even when we drew that game. You know, Southampton. The list goes on and on and
not
on.
Even getting into the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, we're in 5th at the minute. On the final day of the season, we have to hope that Liverpool lose to Middlesbrough, or we beat Everton 7-0, Manchester City get battered by Watford 4-0, and Liverpool also lose to get 3rd place. I can't see it. I'd love it, because obviously if we're going to, you know, improve and grow and develop, then we need to be in the Champions League to attract those top players. You know, even though people say, you know, when Man United missed out of the Champions League, at the time they got Falcao and Di Maria, even though those transfers didn't work for them. At the time, I was envious of Falcao going to Manchester United and Di Maria, because at the time they were the elite players.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but Manchester United have a reputation of winning titles. We have a reputation of getting in the top 4. There's a difference in that.
But you also got to think the difference though. Man United are a worldwide franchise. They don't need to get top 4. They'll still bring in world-class players because they don't have a wage cap like Arsenal Football Club. But
we could spend even more money. That's the thing. We have more money than they actually spend.
Yeah.
You know, we could compete now with Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Well, maybe not Liverpool because they don't spend it, but like the Manchester clubs and Chelsea. We can compete with them. There's been evidence that we can. So if that isn't a problem, then why are we not doing that?
Well, it's not like the board don't give us backing. They actually give us the money to spend.
Yeah.
It's Arsene Wenger who's in control of the transfers.
He could spend more and more and more.
Like, Wenger recently came out and said he doesn't understand what a director of football is. Like, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like, every top football club has a director of football which scouts the talent, brings them in and see if it's possible within the price and wage structure. Why is that foreign, like, to Wenger? I don't understand. That's how a professional football club is run. He's only paid to manage the players, still mentality club, and get the best out of what he's got. And that doesn't seem to be happening at the moment at a club like Arsenal Football Club. Doesn't seem to be happening.
I think our biggest problem was getting rid of David Dean. He brought in, you know, Henry, Bergkamp, Campbell, Lauren. So like, you've got problems where you've not got a David Dean character to bring in these players. So Arsene Wenger doesn't have someone to help and reassure him. And because of that, we don't have a team like, you know, Campbell, you know, Keogh, Bold, Lundberg, you know, Perez, Ombre. You know, all of these players, maybe even Robin Van Persie, when he was amazing. You know, you not got that. You got Sanchez, who is world class, but Ozil on his day is a world class, but he's inconsistent. You know, I think we've only got one world class player in Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah,
you're going to win the league with only one world class player. You're just not.
That's not even possible, is it?
No.
I mean, it's not like Leicester City, is it?
No.
That's a once in a lifetime thing.
You need the spine of the team. Now, I mean, in terms of like Arsene Wenger, like I've been supporting Arsenal now since 2008, so I've been 10 years. We'll get to that. You've been supporting Arsenal since you were, how old were you when you started to support Arsenal?
the Invincible season.
2004. So you've been with Arsenal slightly longer than I have. But I've never been Wenger out until last season. And there's a reason behind that. And, you know, Ash agrees with me. This is what we both think, because we're now both Wenger out. Arsene Wenger had an amazing first 8 years. He was insane. Invincibles, the double winning team. I had to go back and, when I started support Arsenal, watch when we actually were good. But, you know, FA Cup, playing some of the greatest football the Premier League has ever seen. It's a bold statement, but we're the only invincible team in the Premier League ever.
He's changed English football forever, hasn't he?
He changed philosophy, he changed the diet, lifestyle, all that. So that first 8 years was extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary, and he deserves the longevity because of what he did in that first 8 years. 100%, I totally agree with that. I agree with that. He then did something remarkable, overseeing the move from Highbury to the Emirates.
Yeah.
And I think he did an amazing job. You'd agree with that. He did an amazing job,
agree with that.
Keeping us above water, paid off the debt of the stadium, and because of that, we couldn't compete for the title because at that time you had Jose Mourinho and Chelsea coming in, spending buckets and buckets of money, and that meant that, you know, they were spending, Manchester United was spending loads of money, and you can't pay off a stadium and spend £100 million on players. You can't do both. I would argue
5% at United still as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would argue slightly that maybe the type of player he brought in is bringing in second tier players and the same type of player, but he couldn't bring in like the Ronaldo, you know, the Drogba, that type of player.
But it shouldn't matter. I mean, if you've got the right scouts, you can still find affordable talent.
Yeah.
There's no excuse in that respect.
He could have done better with the players that he brought in, but I don't think he could have spent the level of money that Chelsea and Manchester United played when he was paid off that debt. He paid off the debt at the end of, I believe it was May 2013. So it was the end of the 12-13 season. Remember when we clinched Champions League football by beating Newcastle 1-0, Laurent Koscielny with the header. And I remember he paid off the money to the stadium. So the 2013-14 season, he had no money to use in the debt. He paid off the debt. He could now bring in top tier players because Arsenal had the money now because of securing Champions League football over longevity. You know, he had the chance to do that, and I think he did an amazing job qualifying for the Champions League and still paid off the stadium. But it was from this moment, it was that season, it was the first glimmer of hope I've ever seen us being in a title race where we lost 6-0 to Chelsea, 5-1 to Liverpool, 6-3 to Manchester City. Yeah, it's lovely. But that was when I first know. I mean, he brought in Ozil, Sanchez, Welbeck, Cech, great acquisitions, great transfer targets. But last season for me was, I had enough because I never said Arsene Wenger to leave ever before that.
Understandably, you support the club.
Yeah, but when you fall away in a title race like we did last season and you allow Leicester City to go ahead of you and win it, that was the final straw for me. And I wanted Arsene Wenger to leave. And when he signs the new contract, he kind of refreshes, and you have to as a supporter. I mean, you could sit there and moan and whinge and whine that you want him to leave. But if he's here for 2 years, you've just got to accept that and hope that something changes and he changes his mentality. But, this season, it's been woeful.
Yeah, no, I completely agree on the point about last season. All the teams are in transitional period. We just completely fell away. That was our best chance to win the title.
Yeah.
That probably would have secured it with a 5-year contract extension at least.
Or I think he would have left. I think he would have gone out as a Premier League champion, so we would be in the same position of Manchester United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, with new manager and starting a new revolution.
Yeah, as players would have wanted to come to us still.
Yeah.
Even more if that happened.
Yeah.
Not like now, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, we're further behind than we were last year.
Yeah. Right. It's unacceptable. Last season was ridiculous. And this season hasn't been any better in that respect.
Yeah.
It's just been even worse. We're just gradually falling.
Yeah, we've declined.
while every other team is evolving in philosophy and just rising up in comparison. What
really upsets me is, everyone loses, We're not going to win every game. Everyone loses a football game, that happens. Sometimes you're a bit unlucky, but it's unacceptable, and I've seen this far too many times, of switching off.
Yeah.
Not playing to the standard you're capable of. You go a goal down, like the Crystal Palace game, for example.
Yeah.
That was unacceptable because those players were not playing for Arsene Wenger. They weren't playing for the shirt,
And understandably, you heard it from the fans as well.
Yeah, you're not fit to wear the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Understandably.
Yeah.
Oh.
And people say that Arsenal fans whinge and whine. Arsenal fan TV. I've called it not quite Arsenal fan TV, but you have to understand that as football fans, we're passionate, and the amount of money that Arsenal pay for season. I mean, I don't go up to the Emirates. Because I don't have the money, and it's too expensive. And if you're putting in that amount of dedication and time, you're putting in that amount of money to go up to the Emirates and watch Arsenal and go home and away, then you're in your right to moan when the team is not competing.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. 100%. Because we're the highest priced tickets in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And Wenger has the audacity to come out in the press and say, you pay for the football you see.
Yeah.
So we're seeing mediocre football essentially.
But if you're paying for the highest price tickets in Europe, then surely, mathematically, logically, you deserve to see the best football in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't add up.
Exactly. That goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Bayern Munich came to us when they beat us 5-1, and they even protested.
I tend to forget about that.
Yeah, they protested that fact.
Yeah,
because it was ridiculous.
We're told that we moved to the Emirates to compete with Bayern Munich and we lose 10-2. That was acceptable. Once, how can you lose one of your centre backs and then concede 4? Happen again and do the same thing?
Well, at that time we were 1-1, weren't we?
Yeah, we were 1-1.
If Koscielny goes off, we should just park the bus.
Sit 11 behind the ball, yeah.
Park the bus and just get the result.
And at home, you're 5-1 down at the Emirates. If I was Arsene Wenger, I would say, right, you park 11 behind the ball, you try and hit them on the break, but you do not make this look, because this could end up embarrassing. No, we have a shot, you have a shot. Saw it at Man United when we lost 8-2. Saw it, I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I know.
But
in the first leg, losing 2-1, even parking the bus wouldn't have been bad.
Wouldn't have been bad, no.
We were still in the game.
Still in the game. Because you could park 10 behind the ball and then go on the counter again.
Yep. And then we just completely forward because Wenger's too stubborn to change his tactics. Too stubborn. It's all about Wenger's philosophy, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Just don't agree with it. It's completely outdated. And logically, you think in the second leg that we'd make it respectable, and you saw what happened. 10-2 on aggregate.
It's so kind of wearing. It's knackering.
Well, it's the same every season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get to a point where you're so tired, you're so worn out that you said to me on Tuesday, we watched Arsenal Sunderland together, and you said that you just lose that passion because it's the same thing over and over again. And that's the worst thing you could say about being a football fan, that you lose passion because of how mediocre your team can be.
Well, I go into matches not expecting the result.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the worst thing you could ever think about your team. Seriously, it's just not good enough.
It's already relegated to Sunderland. It wouldn't have even surprised me if we didn't get a result. Wouldn't even surprise me.
And the thing is, if we'd won that game, we had 33 shots, if we'd won that game 6 or 7-0, improve our goal difference, give us even a better chance of getting into that top 4. That would be my first train of thought. We're not an £8 million a year, and we can see it. Why can't Arsene Wenger? Pickford was amazing that night, but most of the time, they were going straight at him. He was working, they were making him work, but there was, I would say, 10 shots where they just hit it straight at him. Didn't curve it left, didn't curve it right.
I think that just stems from the manager again.
lost their creativity.
A lack of care.
Yeah.
Now, because of what's happened this season. And also, I think that we're not going to beat Everton 4-5-0.
Yeah.
So if Liverpool win, we're definitely not getting top 4. Definitely not getting top 4.
I mean, we're excited for the Europa League. I've never been in the Europa League in the 10 years before, so it'll be fun.
Well, you know what Liverpool are, they'll probably ball bottle it. Because
we'll probably lose to a team that hasn't played in 8 months.
Because at the end of the day, they can't play against teams who won't go on the attack.
Yeah.
They struggle to break teams down. It's quite evident. And, you know, Arsenal will probably win and we'll get top 4. And Wenger will somehow win the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
And you'll have a reason to bring out the 2-year contract extension in the press.
The funny thing about that is, if we can't win the Premier League, then, you know, it's not good enough. But winning the FA Cup and top 4, if we, at the start of the season, we said we won't win the Premier League, we finish 5th, but you can win the FA Cup, if you finish 4th and win the FA Cup, would you take that? You would take it as it's something, but it's not good enough.
True, but then it's just covering over the cracks.
It is covered over the cracks, yeah. But another thing that's annoyed me, why has he not announced it? I think he's staying, because if he wasn't, surely he would have said something by now. What's he waiting for?
I think it is the pressure from the media and fans because of what is going on at the moment with the protests and the fact that we're not in the top 4. We're on the verge of not getting top 4, and he's waiting to see. I mean, if he obviously gets top 4 and he gets a FA Cup final win, then if he signs a contract, what argument does anyone have?
Yeah.
He's achieved top 4, he's got Champions League, and he's got FA Cup, a trophy. So it'll be papering over the cracks again.
Yeah.
And it'll be a lot of frustrated Arsenal fans at this point. Definitely.
I think, I mean, there are positives, you know. We can play well. We've seen some good performances this season. And I'm excited for the FA Cup final. Even though I don't think we're going to win, I'm positive that something could happen. You know, I'd love Arsenal to win the FA Cup. You know, it's not an esteemed prize, but it's a cup final. It's a trophy. So I'm really excited. By the way, our FA Cup final preview will be out on Tuesday, which we're going to be doing. Going to be recording that Monday, so stay tuned for that. But I'm really excited for the final. But when you look, if you've got a piece of paper, put a line down it.
Yeah.
Drew positive, negative Arsenal season. Guarantee that there'll be much more negatives than positive.
Of course.
So you have to kind of weigh up kind of the positives and the negatives, really. And if there's more negatives than positives, you have to ask yourself why, really.
Yeah, and that stems from the manager, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And his philosophy of playing. But I think on our day, we can play the best football in the league.
Yeah.
On our day.
And I think if he brings a world-class centre-back, a world-class CDM, a world-class striker, we're in business. We're in business. It feels like we're far away, but we're not.
Well, we actually do have a good team, though.
Yeah.
We have a good team. We have Sanchez up front, Ozil, Chamberlain, Mustafi, Koscielny, checking goal.
Yeah.
Monreal has started to play really well this season.
Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain
has been incredible this season.
Could potentially go to Liverpool, but I think.
I mean, we've got Lucas Perez, who should start a lot more.
Yeah, it's a wasted transfer for him.
Every time he's played, he's been seriously clinical up front.
Yeah.
And we've got Welbeck, who's got serious pace. We've got a really well-balanced team. We just need a few world-class leaders and just world-class players in general.
Yeah.
And I think we can really mount a title challenge in the future.
Yeah. So, finally to end this Arsenal discussion, Alexis Sanchez, is he staying?
As an Arsenal fan, I hope he does. I really hope he does, because he's world class.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to score.
He can win us games on his own, and
Yeah.
if we're gonna
quite evidently
adapt,
Stoke.
yeah. If we're gonna adapt and grow and develop, he needs to stay. And I now think he will. I'd love him to. I've got a feeling some of the stuff he's done in the last couple of weeks implies that he's going to stay.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50, but I think he's going to stay. If Arsene Wenger does go, what manager would you like to see at Arsenal?
Oh, that's tricky. There's so many managers.
I'm going to put out there Diego Simeone. I'd love at Arsenal if he becomes available. He's signed the contract, but you never know.
Okay.
Or, I mean, Allegri maybe.
See, how I view it is, we just need a manager with a fresh philosophy in the club.
Yeah.
Just to instill a new mentality. That's what I really believe.
It's like someone like Koeman. I would love at Arsenal.
Yeah,
a winner, someone who's passionate.
No nonsense.
Someone who's no nonsense. Yeah. Someone completely different to Wenger.
Not afraid to drop players.
Yeah.
Either.
You don't want a yes man. Arsene Wenger's a yes man to the board. You want someone completely opposite to that.
I mean, Wenger started at Arsenal as a pragmatist, like, at the club, completely evolving with the league, and somehow he's just gone down and not been a pragmatist and just conforming to his stubborn tactics.
Yeah.
Which I don't quite understand, really.
Yeah. And finally, rate Arsenal's season out of 10. If we win the FA Cup, though, and finish top 4, or if we don't win the FA Cup and don't finish top 4, so 2 ratings. So if we do, we don't.
Arsenal playing the best football on our day and Chelsea playing the best football on their day. I think Chelsea will definitely play better than us. I think Chelsea are going to beat us 3-1. I hate to say that, but
I'm like 89th minute, Sanchez breaks through and scores a world. I think if we win the FA Cup and finish top 4, 5 out of 10, and if we don't, 3 out of 10. Really, I gave Arsenal a 5 out of 10 last season, so it will be interested to see where this goes and Arsenal go in the future.
Oh, okay.
But I think we've expressed quite in detail now our
a lot of weight off my shoulders today.
Huh?
A lot of weight off my shoulders.
Yeah,
today.
definitely a weight off our shoulders. So we're gonna end this Premier League kind of not quite Arsenal Fan TV podcast by sharing our predictions for next season. Firstly, I'm going to put a picture on the screen of our picks of the season prediction where we said champions will be Manchester United. It's Chelsea. Manager of the Year, Jose Mourinho. It's Antonio Conte. The Golden Boot we predicted would be Sergio Aguero. It's either going to be, well, after last night, Harry Kane's top goal scorer. But it also could be Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez. So it could be any one of those. Most assists, we've got spot on. We said Kevin De Bruyne, and Kevin De Bruyne has got the most assists, and I think he will stay as the top assister in the Premier League. Player of the Year, we said Paul Pogba. It's not, it's N'Golo Kante, but we got that very wrong. And surprise team, we said Everton, and it was Everton. Yeah, they finished 7th. Ronald Koeman has played brilliant football, so we didn't do too bad on that. Well, we actually, that's a complete lie. We did very bad on that, but we got 2 out of the 6 right. So, okay. So now on screen, we're going to show you our Premier League predictions from 2017-2018. Now, please note, these are just predictions, and the final result of transfer business could change this initial prediction. This is based on the current state of teams now at the time of recording, so this could change depending on what managers come in, what players are signed, all of that good stuff. So, should we announce our predictions in 3, 2, 1? This is what they are on screen. Now, we have a little bit of a dilemma here, because I'll take your call, mate, right? Ashley thinks, who do you think is going to win the Premier League next season?
I'm going to say Manchester City.
Okay. I think it's going to be Manchester United. So, we couldn't decide on who is going to win the Premier League next season. So, I've got a coin here. Ashley's going to flip this coin. And I'm saying heads is going to be Manchester United.
Yeah.
So, you're saying tails is going to be Manchester City. Yeah. So, whatever the coin lands on, we're going to write down in this prediction, so you'll see this when I come to edit the video and put it in, who is going to win the Premier League next season, because we're pretty certain it's going to be one of the Manchester clubs. So, would you do the honours in flipping the coin?
Okay. Heads.
Right. So Manchester United are
that one hurts.
going to win the Now, I want to make absolutely clear. Manchester United and City, I think, are going to dominate next season. Mourinho normally does it his second year, and he's going to have a lot of money to spend. Pep Guardiola's also going to have a point to prove next season,
Definitely.
and he's going to have a lot of money to spend. So I certainly think that Manchester are going to dominate. I said this last season, but I don't think they're going to be as bad as they have been this season. I think they're certainly going to improve. I'll be shocked. Liverpool, we think are going to finish third. Jurgen Klopp's also going to have a lot of money to spend, and we've said already, going forward, they're in a very good position.
Yeah.
We think the champions Chelsea are going to finish fourth. Now, the only reason we say that, why did we say that Chelsea are going to finish fourth?
Well, Conte has to get used to rotating his squad for the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
And the players will have to get that mindset back.
Yeah, obviously, if you win the league, you always get Champions League football. But if that was out of the equation, I would back Chelsea to win the Premier League again.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But Champions League football means he's going to have to rotate. He's going to have way more games, FA Cup, EFL Cup. And I think Manchester United are going to be in the Europa League. City are going to be in the Champions League, but United might get knocked out early. So they're going to have an advantage. And I think City are just going to be so strong next season.
Yeah, they will be.
But I think Chelsea will win the Champions League.
What, next season?
Yeah.
That's a good shout, actually.
It's a very bold statement, but I'm confident. I'm confident because, again, you have the 6 group games, and then you have the knockout games, and Conte could prepare for that. And he's won the Champions League before. Has he won the Champions League?
With Juventus?
Yeah.
I think he has.
I think he has. Don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure. But he's been brilliant in the Champions League. Like, he's proven himself. And
for it's the Italian national team.
Yeah, and in the Euros. So, I don't think it's a bad shout. I think they've got a great... And they've already won the Champions League before. They didn't have a good enough squad.
And they've got a strong depth in the team as well.
Their squad is so much stronger than the squad that won the Champions League in 2012. We said Spurs and Arsenal finished 5th and 6th. Now, Spurs... we don't like Spurs, but the only reason I'm saying that, if they were still at White Hart Lane, I'd put them higher up in the table. We both would put them higher up in the table.
Yeah.
But Wembley, we've seen this season in the Champions League how much it affected them, and now I think it will have an impact on them, particularly if how the other teams are going to strengthen. And I think for us, depends on if Wenger's here next season, and if he keeps his squad, then we won't have a chance. He's got to invest. He's got to put more depth into the squad. He's got to change the mentality. Without that, I can see us finishing 6th or 5th easily again.
Well, you know Wenger doesn't change his style.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very stubborn.
Yeah.
And he's clearly not investing in the right places.
Yeah.
The right players, like everyone else is doing. So it's probably going to be more of the same next season.
Yeah.
So we're looking to go even further down the league.
Yeah.
I think.
But who knows? Who knows for the future? We just pray that things will be better next season, and hopefully we go up the table. So that's our top 6. Then we think Leicester City are going to finish 7th, Everton 8th, then it's Southampton, Crystal Palace, West Ham United, Stoke City, Newcastle, who are joining us next season in the Premier League. They're confirmed they're going to be coming up to the Premier League. Great squad. Like Newcastle. My mates think I'm secretly a Newcastle fan. They say I've always been a Newcastle fan. I keep getting that now all the time, so I praise Newcastle. But I do like them. I like the squad. I like Rafa Benitez as a manager. I think he's a good manager.
Well, Rafa Benitez is a proven manager.
Yeah,
he's
a
won the
proven
Champions
manager.
League.
Got a good squad. I think they play decent football. I think they will be fine. I think they have a mid-table finish. I think they will. They won't be amazing, but they'll be where they will be.
I think Rafa Benitez knows to get results well.
Yeah.
He really knows how to get important results.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, he was quite unlucky that he got the he came too late. Yeah. Again, just like
and
with
I think
Marcus
he
Silva.
has the knowledge to invest in the right players as well. I think.
Definitely. So, yeah, Newcastle for me will be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
West Brom again under Tony Pulis, absolutely fine. He's a proven manager.
They've been incredible this season. I think.
Gets 40 points. easy, absolutely easy. Burnley, if they have Sean Dyche, they should be fine. I think, again, mid-table, probably in that relegation area, but they will be safe. They won't go down. Bournemouth under Eddie Howe, again, they will be good, but I think the strength of other teams around them means they will slightly go further down the ladder, going in 16th. Brighton, another team that's joining us from the Championship. I'm really happy that they're in the Premier League, actually.
It's a breath of fresh air. It's fresh air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And again, they will be in the relegation zone, but my head says that they will go down, but my heart says they will just be safe. So for the purpose that we want new teams in the Premier League, both me and Ash have agreed that they will just be safe. But we're not 100% sure on that.
With their TV money they'll get, I think they'll invest right.
They invest well.
I think they'll stay up.
And they play well. I mean, unfortunately they missed out on the title. I mean, Newcastle. Yeah. When they missed out on the Championship title, Aston Villa did Newcastle a huge favour.
Yeah.
But I think they will just be safe. But they will be struggling to stay in the Premier League. You know, it's going to be a relegation season. But I definitely think that they will be in the in the 2018-19 season. Huddersfield or Sheffield Wednesday, that's the Championship playoff final. One of them will going to be in the Premier League, but whoever wins that will be going down. Sheffield Wednesday not strong enough in the Premier League. Huddersfield as well, certainly not strong enough.
I completely agree with that.
Whoever wins that playoff final is going to go straight back down. And then finally, Watford, no manager. I don't think they're going to be doing well.
I don't think they're doing much business either.
Yeah, they're not going to do much business. They're not going to have a manager. They're doomed. They're doomed as well. And finally, Swansea City are also doomed, bottom of the table. So that's our Premier League predictions. That's who we think and how the table is going to look next season. Just to finish off, we also have champions. Now we say Manchester United. Manager of the year, one of the Manchester managers. When I say if it's United, it's going to be Jose Mourinho. If it's City, it's going to be Pep Guardiola.
Yep.
Golden Boot, Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane is going to win the Golden Boot next season. Most assists, Eden Hazard. This is a good one. Player of the year, Gabriel Jesus. Because he's been on fire this season for Manchester City.
Yeah, he's been incredible, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Before he got injured.
And Brazilian genes are flying in.
It's just this tenacity and flair when he's on the pitch.
Yeah.
He scares defenders when he gets on the ball.
He's so quick.
He reminds me of Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Just how he strikes fears in the defenders.
Yeah,
Incredible
definitely.
player. I think he's going to be on full form next season, seriously.
Yeah.
Near the 30 goal region, I think.
Yeah. Certainly
Definitely.
for me. Alright, good shout on that. And surprise team, Brighton. We're saying Brighton because even though they're going to be in a relegation problem, I can see them staying up, and the surprise of them staying up means they're going to be the surprise team. But looking forward to next season, and it's been not the best season for us, but overall, how have you rated the Premier League this season?
I think it's been very exciting, not from an Arsenal perspective, but as a general neutral, it's been very, very exciting. Very promising for next season as well. Definitely with Pep Guardiola and Mourinho, definitely going to invest next season. Klopp will definitely invest next season. Chelsea will as well. And then seeing them in the Champions League should be quite interesting as well.
We could be in the Europa League, which is the most exciting thing of them all.
I wasn't going to talk about that. But
Up the Gunners. But that is it. That is our Premier League season review, not quite Arsenal Fan TV. Stay tuned on Tuesday. We're going to be doing a Arsenal-Chelsea FA Cup final preview. Me and Nash will be reuniting for that one. And you're going to be seeing this on, we're recording it on the 19th of May. This will be next Friday. So you'll be seeing this a day before the FA Cup final. I'm also going to be doing an FA Cup final vlog. So stay tuned for that. Ashley, thank you very much for coming on to the show, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, mate. And this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of great stuff on my channel. And I've got a very special podcast coming up as well for the next episode and the penultimate episode of the DJ Bagpuss Show. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall speak to you next time.
You know I see it's true. I can feel the love and you feel it too. I can feel it all. I can feel it all. You know I see it's true.
Go on. Oh. Go on! Go on! Yes!
Offside, surely.